A lot of people looking forward to heading to the Ottawa Convention Centre later on this evening for the amazing event called Ringside for Youth. This is a big fundraiser for the Ottawa Boys and Girls Club. To date, they've raised over $2 million, and they tend to bring in some amazing keynote speakers and guests to the event. People like Evander Holyfield, Larry Holmes, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and this year, sitting at the front of everyone is going to be Michael Spinks. Welcome to our show. And so you kind of look through people's resumes and you don't even know exactly where to start. Of course, we had the '76 Olympic boxing gold medal, but then you kind of go back down. The most accomplished light heavyweight champion in history. The Ring magazine ranked him as the third greatest light heavyweight of all time. But for you, your finest accomplishment, I would say, is what you say in a lot of your interviews, is winning the World Heavyweight Championship title against Larry Holmes. Twice.
Right.
Twice. Where do you even break down your career when you look at the type of highlights that you have? Is it remarkable when you look back?
Well, yes, so kind of. Yeah, I think one of my thrills was winning the Olympics. You know, of course, beating Larry Holmes. I had it in for him anyway because of him beating my big brother.
Right, there's quite the family ties. Your brother and your uncle, both boxers as well.
Uncle?
Was it an uncle?
No, man.
Just your brother?
Just my brother, my big brother.
Why did I think there was an uncle in there too?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. So
okay.
it was your brother that had fought.
Yeah, Leon fought Larry Holmes, and I think he got set up. He had 2 weeks to get ready for the fight, and he didn't do too well, you know, and it really kind of hurt me a little bit. And Larry had no mercy on him, so I really had it in for Larry in my life, you know. So I never knew I would have a chance or the opportunity to go up against him. And I beat guys up that beat my brother, so I said I'm gonna take up for him if I ever get a chance. So I did get that chance, an opportunity to fight Larry Holmes, and I got him back in revenge for Leon.
I mean, it's amazing when there's emotion behind a fight, and I think people like that storyline, but it's really different when it actually comes, that whole story comes to the ring as well.
Oh yeah, well, emotions do play a role in there, and you just can't get them, too mixed up with the emotion, because a lot of times you can't fight mad. It's a bad thing to fight while you're mad. But getting even is
don't fight story. Really. There's not that being. I would think you are fighting that, but for you, no. It's being smart. It's
being smart. You know, you get even instead of getting mad. That's what I chose to do.
You got even.
I got even.
What would you say was the hardest fight you ever had?
Hardest fight was the one I didn't make it through. It had to be with Mike Tyson. You know, so yeah, I didn't make it through that fight. I got stopped in the first round.
Well, and there weren't many of those in your career, so it's an easy one to remember. What happens at that? What happens when you realize, okay, this has just happened in this fight? Do you come back and not get mad, but retrain and kind of look for your next opponent, or do you question things? I mean, this was a long career for you.
Yeah, well, a lot of times when the guy beats you once, if you get a chance, opportunity to fight him again, I mean, you train a little harder, work a little harder, and try to remember the things that you got hit with most, and try to stay away from things like that.
It's something that probably a lot of people ask you. Do you find when you're going to events like this, and you said you've been traveling pretty much since the '76 Olympics, talking to people, what do people most want to know? Is it about the sport, or is it about your opponents? The training?
Well, they ask different questions about how did you get prepared for the fight, you know, what you do, and I had nutritionists that took me through, channels of exercises and runs and weightlifting. As a matter of fact, I think the fight I had with Larry, weights were introduced to boxing, because before it was a bad omen for you to use weights, because they would slow you down a little bit.
It seems nutrition, conditioning seems to be the foundation for every sport now, and that it's being ingrained in athletes at a much younger age that they need that to be successful.
Oh yeah, a lot of good discipline and training.
We're going to see a lot of younger athletes there tonight. I mean, this for a lot of kids coming in is a big opportunity to fight with these great crowds. Do you like looking at the younger generation of boxers coming through?
I'm a great spectator in boxing, and I can watch boxing with the youngsters. I can watch them, trying to really form their styles.
You like watching the younger kids?
I love it. I'm a great spectator.
Well, I think you're going to have a lot to look forward to tonight. There's going to be some wonderful young athletes getting ready to fight, and people, of course, looking to be able to chat with you and ask you a whole bunch of questions. Thank you so much for coming in. I know it's a big event, and they're always able to bring in some wonderful people. For those that are excited, Ringside for Youth is expected tonight at the Ottawa Convention Centre. They've already done a great job raising over $2 million for the Boys and Girls Club.